I am the devil, and I am here to do the devil's work.
What's up, you guys? It's Davey Suicide. The most proud that I am so far is that I think all the songs are exactly how we wanted to do them, and we didn't get steered in any direction creatively, and they came out how we wanted. And I think the groundswell that we're creating and the amount of fan base support that we've grown and gathered so far is amazing. I think I'm very I do things in clusters, and I find that I'll pump out 10 songs in about a month, and then I won't touch anything for like 3 or 4, and it just comes in waves. And when I'm on that wave, I just know to just grind as much out as possible, and that's how the second album is starting to come together material-wise. It's real fast. I think already, like, the material on the second album that we've written it's evolving. Of course, I think if you keep writing the same stuff, you don't grow. I already am favoriting these songs over the first album, and I'm looking back at the first album when we finished it, and I was like, wow, this is the best that we could have done. And now I feel like we're going to top it and then some on this, and it's exciting. Yeah. I think just being honest. I think so many artists aren't honest. And when you can just strip everything away and just be and talk about what makes you you and what has developed you into this character, I think that's more shocking than not. I feel like everything is so watered down by manufacturing that to find a really genuine artist is probably the most shocking thing that's happened in a while. I think real artists have they have a story to tell. I think that's the problem with those shows like The Voice and stuff. Like, it's a talent contest. A real artist lived through stuff, you know, whether it was a broken home or whether it was just being like a misfit or getting hit as a child, or maybe not growing up with parents, being an orphan, you know what I mean? Like, that to me is a lot more interesting than someone that has rich parents that basically fund their career, and, you know, it doesn't matter if they fail or succeed because it's like a hobby for the parents to invest in their child. So I think so. I mean, when I was in 8th grade, I played a party, and the rush of just playing cover songs for kids, that's when I knew. And it's like truly the only time that I'm ever like really happy is on stage. I think I spend a lot of time off stage trying to get better and just chasing greatness, and letting that out is just a special moment. And when you realize that people connect and understand the words and it means something to them, that's the moment of perfection to me. Oh, I think, yeah, the good time. I mean, yeah, you strip away the programming and the keyboards, and it is a rock band, you know. I think beyond bringing back rock, I think to me just bringing back the honesty of like what makes an artist special is important. You know, it's like there's certain conviction that like Johnny Cash and Bruce Springsteen, Jim Morrison, and singers like that didn't have the best voices, but when they said something and they spoke, you always believed it. And that's what was perfect about artists. And then when labels came around and they started to try to make an assembly line out of artists to make money, that's when the integrity was lost, and they just started making sheep. And they'd make business models instead of making great music. And that's what fans can tell. They can tell when it's real, and they can tell when it's manufactured. And more than anything, I think we're just bringing an honesty back to this is like true to like who I am, what I do every day, and that's most important. I think you have to assess every situation. I think everything is different. I've learned that you have to just work towards the best outcome. And if that excludes a couple people, then so be it. If you're forcing a square peg in a round hole and it's not coming out as happy as you want it to do, then you got to just speak up and you just cut it out, you know. And this band is about greatness and becoming great, and until we reach it, you know when you reach it. And if it's not there and you know, someone has to sit on the sidelines for something, that's what happens. If someone can't play the part as better as someone else, then that's what we go with, whoever does it best. I mean, I think when I was growing up, I got accused for being too nice to members sometimes, and you know, I just had to drop the gavel a little bit harder. And the more that I've learned that, you know, if you do it in a tactful way, you don't have to be a dick, but the more that I've learned, the outcomes have been better. And at the end, you know, whatever comes out on the album's forever, you know? So you got to put feelings aside, and you just have to do what's best. Live show-wise, if someone's not stepping up or someone's not performing at the level that I expect them to, we pull them aside and we talk to them about it. I mean, it's just like, this means so much to me that I don't want any, like, hacks. It's funny because I think, of course, I think we're going to be the best. We might not be there yet. And it's funny because the people that think the best band is normally the one that has the most muscle behind them. And every day we're proving with our fans that that's not even the case anymore. We're still starting to outshine some of those bands that have millions of dollars behind them, which is interesting to me. But I mean, this goal it's always been to be, you know, to be this next generations of my predecessors, you know. Like, I want to replace them. It's time, and I think that's what people are paying homage to, and they're finding, like, that specialness in them. Yeah, I mean, I do everything. A lot of times people that run labels are failed musicians, and they still want their hands in it, and what they did as musicians didn't work. So for them to bring on talent and then tell the talent what they do, they can go fuck themselves. I just don't think, you know, they're a bank and they cut checks. There's nothing here that they're not even, you know, they're not on the same level creatively and stuff. So it's like, you know, I'll listen to my manager and stuff, but when it comes time to, like, the label or whatever, I'm not interested in what they have to say. I mean, it sounds kind of dickish, but I just don't think that, you know, if it's a business plan, that's one thing, but as creatively speaking, like, you have to do what you're most proud of and what your foot is your best foot forward. You have to do what you're happy with first, because you can't make other people happy until you're happy. So you have to be selfish in that respect. I think we're helping more people than we're hurting. I know, like, parents, kids have gotten suspended from school for wearing our shirts. And although if they paid attention, I think that they'd realize that their kids might have been in a darker place before they met us, and now we're kind of helping them pull out of that. And I just think it's disappointing in the sense that parents aren't paying enough attention to what their kids are and what they like and what they're listening to, because then I think they'd realize that there's more to this than this insane, crazy rock band that they think this is. I think that we're growing every day. I don't think we're at our peak. I feel like we have the best songs and the best shows have yet to come, but I feel every day we get better, and I feel like we're growing at an exponential rate. We're gonna start working on the next record. That's the biggest thing next. You know, we're gonna finish out this tour. We just went to the UK, and the next record, and then maybe we'll pop out another video on this album, and then on to the new stuff. You know, I think it's been time, and I love this record, and I love the material that we have ready for the next album.